The month of September coming to a close, but things are just heating up as far as the Ontario Sire Stakes Championship season is concerned. As we get a look inside the main lobby here at beautiful Woodbine Mohawk Park. A busy spot this evening, and weather-wise, it could be worse. We've had a little bit of steady rain over the course of the afternoon and into this evening, but right now seems to be subsiding. A little bit cool and damp. It's starting to feel like fall here in Campbellville, Ontario. And the type of weather we often see on this night, it's Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots Finals night. Greg Blanchard and Robert Reed Jr., pleased to welcome you trackside here once again. And Rob, one of the nights we look forward to every year on the calendar because this is often one of the more unpredictable evenings, and a lot of improving horses at this time of year meeting up with others who've had maybe long, tough seasons, and you never know what could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's the middle tier, right, of the Ontario program, but it's the deepest one. These are the best of that tier now. Exciting races, and sometimes some big prices come through.
Absolutely. So we've got a lot to look forward to here this evening. Again, it's Grassroots Championship night here, and we celebrate an anniversary of the Ontario Sire Stakes this season as well. That is the theme of our Have Your Say question right off the top this evening as we welcome everybody tuning in across North America. It's wonderful to have you with us again tonight. We want to hear from you. Asking you, who do you think the greatest OSS performer of all time is? We're going to give you a few to choose from just to kind of refresh your memory if you need it. How about the likes of Be a Magician, Majestic Sun, he wasn't a bad one, Bulldog Hanover, and Peaceful Way? What an incredible list there. Or was it someone other than those four that we mentioned? So much history, so many great champions in the history of the Sire Stakes program. From that list, is there one of those that you think is tops?
Yeah, for me, it's got to be Bulldog Hanover. You know, I saw a lot of great horses over the years, but never saw a horse do what he's done. Some will say, you know, recency bias with him, but not for me. Bulldog Hanover, hands down.
All right, we're going to bring in the other member of our broadcast team right now, Jamie McDonald, covering off our paddock location to tell us what is coming up this evening. Hi, Jamie.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we've got an action-packed evening this evening. We're covering races 6 through 10. 6 kicks off with our 2-year-old colts and geldings on the pace, and then we switch it over to 3-year-olds in race 7, back and forth through the pace and trot with our colts and geldings and fillies 7 through 10. We have over $600,000 in purses tonight, and of course that anniversary for OSS is the 50th, an absolute amazing milestone for the Ontario Sire Stakes. And of course, we have 8 divisional championships tonight coming up. And like I said, we'll be covering 6 through 10.
Thank you very much, Jamie. And she'll be catching up with some of the connections competing here this evening as well. It's been an exciting night so far. 8 championships. 3 of them have already happened. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to recap how those unfolded and then set you up for the live action here from beautiful Woodbine Mohawk Park.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
Love horse racing? hpibet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with hpibet.com.
Welcome back. There is the scene from Woodbine Mohawk Park as we wrap up the month of September in style. It's Grassroots Championship night, welcoming those tuning in across North America here this evening. Big hello to all of you. We'll try and get to hear from some of those folks throughout the show as well. A busy night, 8 championships, $75,000 up for grabs in each of those finals, and 3 of them held earlier tonight, Rob. We'll begin with 2-year-old filly trotters as we take a I'll look back to see what unfolded there. One of the hot horses coming in, although she'd had some issues with brakes in recent starts, was Teller's Choice. But as we pick it up here, she's made the lead for Louis Philippois and appeared to handle the off-going well.
Well, she certainly did. I mean, dominant winner tonight. And you know what? I got to see her at Grand River Raceway, September the 16th. Post 8 on that occasion. Still difficult to win from out there at the river, and real slick steer from Louis on that occasion. This time around, he just really overpowered them with Teller's Choice, one that dabbled into the golds earlier in the season, and often we see that, right? They might start in the gold and end up in the grassroots, and this is one that certainly has flourished late in the year.
Let's pick up the final stages of this first championship final with track announcer Ken Middleton.
Fourth inside to Royal Sauce in deep stretch. The one to catch is Teller's Choice, and Teller's Choice pours it on. Here's Teller's Choice, the 3-5 favorite, going to crush them in this grassroots final. Teller's Choice wins under wraps by 4 lengths. It was a piece of cake for Teller's Choice. I Believe in Angels, Rich Girl third, and after Traffic Woes, Wings of Green was fourth in 1:56.1.
The daughter of the bank, she came to play, had her A game tonight, and couldn't have made it look any easier. Trainer Luc Blais for Owner's Determination of Montreal, Quebec, and Louis Philippois get it done here. 2-year-old filly pacers were up next, race number 3 on the program, and we pick it up at the halfway point here, and James McDonald with the Jeff Byron trainee picked me up Hanover on the lead, but facing some heavy pressure in the third quarter.
Certainly did, and you know what? Pick Me Up Hanover was a horse that started off her career at Tauga down south of the border, had a nice win streak to start things off, and then tasted defeat for the first time in a gold. And then tonight, I thought maybe it was beat, Greg, because he got headed in the stretch, but battled back nicely for the victory to convert as a 6-5 favorite. Really nice season in the grassroots for Pick Me Up Hanover.
Let's listen to Ken's description of the final quarter mile.
Wide comes Saddlebags, deep stretch. Pick Me Up Hanover has been picked up as Stellar Manipulation grabs a short lead, but can he sustain that drive to the line? Stellar Manipulation gives way. Pick Me Up Hanover fights on. Pick Me Up Hanover pulled one out of the fire to score in this grassroots championship. Stellar Manipulation was second in 1:53.3.
So this filly coming up with one of her best efforts of the season, and she's been a high win percentage type. That's her 6th win in 8 starts on the season, and now has a grassroots final championship title on her resume. And 2-year-old filly, or 2-year-old colt trotters, I should say, in race number 4. Another very competitive contest on paper. And the new kid on the block in terms of trotting stallions in Ontario has been Green Manalishi, who was well represented in this final.
Yeah, definitely well represented. You see him everywhere, right, in these young trotting events. And in this one here, I mean, a slick steer. Wendell Blue Chip, Doug McNair ends up getting a perfect trip and gets the victory. And the thing is that Pierre in Paris, you'll see here in the stretch drive, the 6th, the favorite in the race, ends up locked in the pocket. Likely would have done much better if he gets a seam a little earlier, but just wasn't meant to be tonight for Pierre in Paris.
All right, again, here's the final quarter mile of that 2-year-old colt and gelding trot.
Pierre and Paris still trying to shake loose. Deep stretch. Alimony Mike there. Wendell Blue Chip on the outside closing. Here's Wendell Blue Chip off a sweet second over trip mapped out by McNair. Wendell Blue Chip wins. Pierre and Paris a traffic troubled second. Third was Alimony Mike in 1:57.3.
And it was the son of Green Manalishi clicking here. And Doug McNair in the driver's seat for the win. Doug, top driver in the OSS program this season, had a huge night here last night as part of the grassroots consolations, and an early win under his belt here this evening.
Yeah, might have more to come too, right? Like you said, he's had a fantastic year in the OSS program, but also just has a fantastic year, year in, year out here at Mohawk Park and beyond. So Doug's very competitive. We know that. These are the nights that he really gets his juices flowing, and we might see him a few more times in the winner's circle. All
right, and a bit of shift in terms of trotting stallions in Ontario. As we mentioned, Green Manalishi really making a major splash here this season. The longtime stalwart in the division, Muscle Mass, though he has had another tremendous year producing at the top level again in the OSS. And they sit 1-2 on both the trotting filly and colt side of the ledger here this season, and not much to separate the two as well. So we look forward to that kind of battle in terms of the stallion shed as well. Let's look now at our first live championship we're going to be covering tonight. Race number 6 is coming up, and we're going to be back on the pace 2-year-old colts and geldings in here. So much good form to go on in this field. Not only are these races fun to watch in terms of the talent we're seeing on the racetrack, for a horse player, these are some great races on this night as well.
Yeah, they always are. The grassroots, like I said, we've seen some favorites obviously tonight already in that recap, but usually grassroots night's the night where you can really go hunting for some value. On the super final night, maybe there's a little more margin between them, and there's bigger favorites coming in. So tonight's the night we might see some prices, and this really sets up for a nice race here. And unfortunately, I am on one of the favorites, though, Greg.
There's a look at the grassroots divisional leader here in this particular division. It's Blue Bar, son of all bets off, and that stallion certainly made his mark in the last couple of years in the OSS program, and again this season we're seeing several of his offspring competing at the top level in this particular division. This guy has been the leader in terms of points. All of the top 5 will be here as part of this excellent 10-race field. So we'll get a look at them on Post Parade coming up in a moment. Again, we want to say hi to everybody tuning in here this evening. Say hello to Mark Anderson, good friend of the show. Diane Crossman's on board as well. J.D. Varnell. I'm sure J.D. will keep us updated on some of the results tonight from Dayton, where they have a big program. They were canceled, though, last evening. The Red Mile canceled yesterday. They got it in today. We're all kind of dealing with the inclement weather conditions today, and I guess the remnants of the tropical storm that hit the southern part of the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I watched some of the Red Mile today. It was pretty messy there today as well, but got to see Highland Kismet, right? Rebound with a big victory there with Bob McClure, and of course he's not here tonight because he was there this afternoon, and now he's in Dayton this evening. So usually Bob would be someone that's racking up the wins too in these grassroots finals.
So again, for those who are watching, we'll go back to that Have Your Say question we posted earlier. Let us know who you think the greatest OSS performer of all time is. Everybody that drops us a comment tonight, you're going to be entered for a chance to win a cool prize. We're going to be giving away a commemorative Bulldog Hanover baseball cap. And we had a very selected, limited edition of those earlier this season. We got a few left, and we're going to be giving one to the winner. And looking ahead a couple of weeks from now, of course, we'll be covering the OSS Super Finals as well, and we'll have a nice OSS prize pack to give away that evening. Here's a recap of the horses that we outlined as possibles to choose from, including an other. And there are others. We only picked 4, but what a list. That is truly a hoot.
Great memories of that trotter, and she was just absolutely magnificent. So, yeah, it's pretty difficult to pick one, but for me, again, I go with the one that I got to see live and in person so many times and do things I never saw a racehorse do.
And it was around this time of year that we saw some of those horses turn in their greatest efforts. And a horse that we only saw a couple of times. We didn't put him in there simply because he I think only raced twice or 3 times total, I guess, in the Ontario Sire Stakes. And that was the Great Sun Beach Somewhere. Yeah. But he did win a super final event when it was contested back then at Woodbine Racetrack. And that was one of the worst weather nights that I can ever remember for a night of that caliber. And he turned in arguably his greatest effort, and that's saying something because he had so many great ones. So yeah, fun list, fun to go back down memory lane, and again, we want to hear from folks, and we're getting some interesting answers so far. And J.D. Varnell, he goes outside the ones that we mentioned there, and another great one, Apache's Fame. Yeah, from way back in 1990. A nice up-close look at the horses in our paddock location, getting set to go here for race number 6 as we celebrate again the 50th anniversary of the Ontario Sire Stakes, certainly one of the greatest stakes programs in the world. And it's fun to celebrate here in this way. We've got 8 outstanding championship finals this evening. Maybe the best one on paper coming up here with 2-year-old colt and gelding pacers. Let's get you to put your handicapping hat on here. This is a start of a pick 5 opportunity as well. How would you be playing a race like this that looks so wide open?
You know what, for me, my best bet in the Horse Players Journal is Sable Wilson, the 6. So, it's pretty simple for me. That would be my single in that pick 5. It's an all grassroots final pick 5, right? So there's going to be some big opportunities for some prices, I think, in the sequence. Crackshot raced fantastic last time, but I'm going with Sabo Wilson. I've loved what he's done all season. His lifetime debut was absolutely incredible, and then since then he's followed up with really nice efforts in the grassroots. So second choice right now in the odds. I think he's probably going to stay around that price, 9 to 5, maybe a shade lower come post time, but that's who I'm on.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to meet the field for our first live championship event of the night.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns October 15th and 16th to the Western Fair District Agriplex. Recent London sales standouts include O'Brien Award winners and millionaire performers, Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy, and Stockade Sealster. Leading North American consigners and yearlings by the sport's top sires, all under one roof in a world-class facility. Find your next champion at the London Classic Yearling Sale. Find out more by visiting londonclassic.ca.
And yes, indeed, the London Classic Yearling Sale coming up in just a couple of weeks' time. Really a fun time of year. Of course, the big sale coming up in Lexington this week. Really the premier yearling sale, especially the day one offerings, just incredible. We're excited about some of the new crop stallions we're going to see this year, including Bulldog Hanover. He'll be represented both in Lexington and our upcoming sale here as well. And then, of course, we'll look ahead to Harrisburg in November as well. Again, welcoming everybody tuning in here this evening, getting set to go. We'll be meeting the field for our first live championship in a moment. Want to say a special hello to some folks watching. Bobby Duovec, hope I pronounced it correctly, Bobby. Now, we met him at the Little Brown Jug last week, and a big fan of Cosa-Tv, so it was great to meet him and some of his friends that were there live, and they tune in. So it just shows you we've got folks watching these broadcasts from all over North America, and in fact, the world. And I think a lot of people tuning in tonight will be excited for what we have in store here this evening. This is the kind of betting board that we thought we would see in this particular spot. Public having a tough time between Crackshot and Sabo Wilson. Sabo Wilson, real solid second choice at 9 to 5. Surprised on the odds? Did you expect that one to be getting that much attention?
No, I mean, I thought Crackshot would take a lot of support. I mean, he beat Sabo Wilson last time and did so in really impressive fashion. I mean, 52 flat, off a bit of time too, qualified in Lexington before that, so went down to Kentucky, didn't race down there, just qualified, and I thought raced tremendous last time, Greg. So to me, I thought it would be one where the public can't really separate those two on the odds board. It's the way it's playing out, but you know what it's created? Some serious value out there. I mean, I know I've got a best bet in Sabo Wilson, but there's horses I see on the odds board right now that are almost automatic win wagers for me at bombs away prices, even as just throwaway wagers, just because we know we might see prices on a night like tonight.
And this is a night where the breeders certainly are watching with great interest as well. A lot of pride for these breeding establishments when they see their youngsters, getting to this point and racing in these types of championships. One farm that's tremendously well represented here with 4 starters, Winback Farm, and we should note they are the leading breeder in the Ontario Sire Stakes program this season. The most number of starters, so they breed a lot, certainly, that race here in Ontario. And in terms of earnings, almost $1 million in earnings just in the OSS alone this season. So, they're watching here tonight because they're going to have siblings, of course, going through the auction ring in the next couple of weeks as well. Some familiar names there. Hanover Shoe Farms, that might surprise some people, Rob, to see them, so well ingrained in the Ontario program, sitting at number 2. Sealster Farms, the Miller Farms, what a tremendous group of homebreds they've been unveiling here in the last few years. And, the beat goes on this year when you think about Chantilly. How fun is it going to be to watch her in a couple of weeks? I
can't wait to see her go on the track. Every time she races, I can't wait to see it. And I know last time there were some naysayers thinking might be the time to go against her, right, in the She's a Great Lady. But no, she paced away from them in the stretch again, and she's such a beautiful filly. I can't wait to see her in the Gold Final. She'll be a pretty short price, but she'll be a fun show to watch. Yeah, for sure. Not eligible this year to the Breeders' Crown. Not sure if they would have, been looking to travel out of province with her this year or not. Probably will have their sights set on doing that a little bit more next season, but she'll have an opportunity to cap off an undefeated season, which would be incredible. And, if you were voting right now,
I was telling someone today, you'd have to give her consideration for overall horse of the year in Canada, wouldn't you?
I think so. Yeah, just from what she's done, I mean, and the margin between her and the rest of them has been, incredible, right? And she's done it with such ease. Yeah, never tasted defeat. I mean, I think if she just kind of does what she's supposed to do in the super final, pretty tough to go against her, I would think.
Yeah. It's fun to start to speculate because we're late in the season now. We're starting to think ahead to the end of the season. And if you were voting right now, who would you be looking at in different categories? I think the trainers race would be another interesting one. If you were voting right now, I think, Tony Beaton, I think immediately comes to mind this year. Dave Maneri's had an excellent year. Blake McIntosh, career best season for him as well. So some of the categories I think are going to be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, no, I always look forward to that. There's the standings.
Greg McNair as well.
Yeah, for the OSS standings. Yeah, Greg McNair. I mean, he's having another tremendous season, right? And obviously he's got a lot more horses now, a lot more more firepower in the barn as well. So really, it's a great list, right, of our top trainers that we have here. And of course, you mentioned Tony Beaton. I mean, what a dream season he's had, right? I mean, to have two horses in the division, not only didn't have so much success in the Little Brown Jug, but the season those two have put together, legendary Hanover and Nijinsky, is just incredible.
Yeah, and speaking of Nijinsky, we hope that he came out of the jug okay. Obviously, was not himself that day, and so we hope we're going to see him back for the super final, try and get himself back on track late in the season. What a season it's been! Him and the stablemate really ding-donging for supremacy in the division. But Captain Albano, in the last month or so, with what he has done, has got his name in the ring. So there's another great race when you think about 3-year-old colt pacers on both sides of the border. Those races will be tough and probably going to come down to a Breeders' Crown in that division.
Yeah, no, I would think so. Yeah, and hopefully they're all going to be in it, and we'll maybe the best horse win, right?
Let's get a look at the horses now stepping out from our paddock location. And some great-looking youngsters we're going to get a look at here. There's Tip of Time. He's a 19-1 proposition. A son of Shadow Play. Another stallion that's, again, had a rock-solid season here in Ontario especially. Dr. Ian Moore, of course, he knew him quite well from his racing career, and he trains this one. And Lindsay Jane Whalen, and I believe that's one of Ian's daughters. That's the co-owner on that one. Pretty sure. And RG McGroup Limited, Rob McLennan of Bathurst, New Brunswick, longtime owner. And Alden O'Brien, Sean McIsaac, some Charlottetown connections that Ian would have known for many years. So they'll be excited, certainly watching this guy, Tip of Time, and cheering him on as we continue to get a look at them heading out from the paddock location. There's the divisional leader, Blue Bar, good-looking son of All Bets Off, and a homebred, one of a few really nice homebreds we've seen from Team Cullen this year.
Yeah, Travis Cullen, he does all the work on that one, right? Driver, an owner, and breeder. So he's in with a big chance, right? 4 for 4 in the grassroots.
Let's get a look at them on post parade now. As the weather conditions, they've cleared up a lot from what we saw earlier tonight. Tyler Jones has got a nice lineup tonight. He'll be on board the Don Lindsay trained post 1 starter, Merrow, son of Stag Party.
And there's the 2 Tip of Time again. Tyler aboard the board for Dr. Ian Moore. 2 wins at 8 tries this year, 5 top 2 finishes.
Devil's Wish, number 3, a son of McWicked, one-time winner in 5. Anthony Beaton trains. James McDonald in the bike.
And next up is the 4 Sensational. Sylvan Filion is the driver for trainer Jeff Williams, owned by the late Robert McIntosh and partners. This is one that still a maiden, but 6 on the board finishes from 8 tries.
One of the leaders in the division is Crack Shot, post 5 starter, Better's Delight son, Greg McNair co-owns, with Dale Hunter, longtime coach of the London Knights, Frank Brundle, George Kerr also in the ownership group. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives.
And the 6 is Sable Wilson. Trevor Henry aboard this time around for Otis Hall. And this one, 5 for 8 so far in his career. 7 on the board finishes. And right now the second choice in the betting, but just marginally at 9 to 5.
Travis Cullen owns and drives the 7 Blue Bar. He's 4 for 9 on the season. 7 top 3 finishes. A little over $50,000 banked. Looks to take home the lion's share of the $75,000 purse.
There's the 8 Grin and Win, Tyler Moore for Heather Pickett. This is by a colt by Believe in Bruiser. 7 top 2 finishes and 7 tries. Began his career in the Prospect Series and now has become a mainstay in the grassroots.
Tito and Cheddar, the number 9, Louis Philippe Wall, looking for a second Grassroots Championship tonight. Son of Better Than Cheddar, owned by Hutt Racing of Pennsylvania.
And out to the dreaded 10-hole, Mick Winner for Jonathan Drury and Tony Beaton. This horse has 2 wins in 5 tries, 3 on the board finishes. One of the outsiders looking in.
That is your field of 10. So they'll take a couple of minutes, do their final score downs and warm-ups here, getting ready to go. This will be our first live event of the evening. 3 already contested earlier tonight. And we're back on the pace this time around. 2-year-old colts and geldings. Certainly one of the deepest, one of the more competitive events of the night. I'm a little bit surprised to see a couple of horses getting so much of the support. I think there's some great prices on the board. Any of the others that you see right now that jump out at you?
There's 2 of them. Like, I mean, if we go outside, the 5, 6, and 7, I mean, Blue Bar, I mean, it's interesting, right? He's 4 for 4 in the grassroots and not getting much respect. He's 9 to 2 on the board. I get it, but you've got 2 horses that are kind of taking all the action. But if I looked at 2 horses that were like big prices, if you look long shot player, it'd be the 8 Grin and Win or the 1 Marrow. And I don't have Marrow actually in the Horse Players Journal, but he just missed the cut. So one like Grin and Win. Grin and Win's done nothing wrong this year. He started off in the Prospect Series. It's been no worse than second. He's had some really nice runner-up finishes in the grassroots and kind of a horse that always brings his best and tries really hard. 15 to 1 right now, Greg. And, Marrow, last time, he's my best bet at Hanover. Didn't work out the way the trip kind of played out. He was second to Tip of Time. But the start before that, he got cemented behind horses before finishing a pretty good third as the favorite. So seeing him at 31 to 1, I mean, that's kind of the thing that makes my eyes light up, even though my best bet is in here is the 6 Sobel Wilson.
It's a race really full of good form. That's what jumps out at me. And yeah, it's amazing. You're getting, 18 to 1, 24 to 1 on horses that have been, consistently finishing in the top 3 against these types week in and week out. And some of them, I think, just frankly getting totally overlooked because of post position. The one that jumps out to me is number 10, McWinner. Yes, going to be very challenging from out there. But here's a horse that won a grassroots event last time at Hanover Raceway quite handily.
Yeah, he did. No, and it's interesting, right? Because you said that the post is having some horses get overlooked, and also just the fact that we have 2 horses taking all the action, everything else gets inflated, and it gives you opportunities to look for value elsewhere. And the great thing about this race, we know it's a springboard, right? I mean, this is the championship event for the grassroots for these rookies, and we've seen horses parlay into really big things. So the one that I kind of get most excited about, I love the Glamour Boy division, but I also love this one here because we know the future could be bright for all of these horses, but usually the winner kind of goes on to do something special next year.
And a lot of these colts, they're maybe just a half step behind the gold, if that, frankly. Some have just opted to take the grassroots, path this season and sort of stick with that. There's no doubt you'll see probably a couple of these at least jump up and be gold series performers next season as well. Tip of Time, nothing wrong with this guy at 17 to 1. Great looking individual. He's not a real tall horse, but really nicely put together, son of Shadow Play. And he's another one coming off a win last time at Hanover. Those races at Hanover are a little bit hard to gauge, hard to compare to some of the others who bypassed that race last time out. But yeah, who knows? I think it's a little more wide open than the tote board would suggest in this particular spot. Out of town tonight, just got a quick update. Thanks to the guys that are online, keeping us updated. Jiggy Jog did exactly that, as you would expect in Dayton, and the beat goes on for that great trotting mare. One of their big 4 championship races they'll be featuring there this evening in Dayton, Ohio. Want to let people know, too, coming up a little later tonight, we're going to have Andrew Gaughan, who is the chair of Ontario Racing. He's going to be joining us following race 7 tonight for a little chat, talk about what's on the horizon here for Ontario Racing in the next couple of years. So we look forward to that. But we're looking forward to our first live championship event of the night here. It's the 2-year-old colt and gelding pace, $75,000 up for grabs upstairs to Ken Middleton.
Pool just shy of 48,000 in climbing as we give you the update there. Full field of 10 here, 6 to 5 on 5. Crack Shot coming in off that big win last time out. 2 to 1 on 6. Sobel Wilson getting some attention, and rightly so. He's had 5 wins from 8 this year for trainer Otis Hall. In behind the gate, race 6. 2-year-old Colton Gelding pace, grassroots final. Often pacing the inside 3, left out alertly. Tip of time, Devil's Wish, Marrow from the rail. Some speed outside from Blue Bar as he gets up on the gas pedal too. Crack shot, left down the center. He's going to drop in 4th, it appears. So Marrow is backpedaled his way into 5th. 6th inside 2, Sensational. Limbed out 7th goes Sobel Wilson. Further back towards the rail, Grin and Win. Then Tito and Cheddar and McWinner. First panel 27 and 2/5 into the backstretch. Chasing Blue Bar. Blue Bar by 2 on Devil's Wish. Outside comes Crackshot, driving up quickly, 3rd, now 2nd. And Crackshot takes a shot at the front end as Blue Bar is joined by Crackshot. Crackshot powers by. Passing 3/8 on up to the midway point. Crackshot on the verge of getting to the front. Blue Bar back into 2nd now. Devil's Wish, tip of time. Here's Sobel Wilson on the move. Picking up his cover goes Marrow from the backfield. Sensational to the outside flow. Then Tito and Cheddar trapped in McWinner. Outside goes Grin and Win. A 56 and 3/2. Crackshot to the far turn leads the way. Blue Bar, pocket shadows. Outside Sobel Wilson on that first over gain into 3rd. With his cover 4th is Marrow. 5th inside but gapping Devil's Wish. 6th and up on the move drive Sensational. Then tip of time and Grin and Win further back to Tito and Cheddar. 3/4 of a mile. Crackshot still with that lead. Plugs her out as Sobel Wilson is just a length away. And Sobel Wilson takes dead aim at Crackshot. 3/4 in 125 and 1. Crackshot still there leading a length. Sobel Wilson 2nd outside, still with work to do. Now he's 2 lengths away. Crackshot pours it on when asked to do so. Crackshot still there. Sobel Wilson a good 2nd, but no touching Crackshot. Crackshot wins by 2 lengths. Sobel Wilson was 2nd, then Blue Bar and Marrow 152 and 1. Scooting home in 27 flat. Crackshot to seal the deal.
Crackshot, he was the best tonight. He left no doubt about it. When he got to the front there in the middle half, stole a reasonable 3rd quarter, and he turned on the afterburners, Rob. That 27-second quarter tonight, considering weather and track conditions, ultra impressive.
Yeah, he was ultra impressive. You know, early money came for him, and then late, the money switched to Sobel Wilson. He went off as the even money favorite, so Crackshot actually went up in price a little bit, and it was as good as advertised for that early money. Fantastic effort last time out after missing a little bit of time anyways, and tonight just too good for them. Sobel Wilson, nice grinding 2nd, first over for a long way, but just could not get to the winner Crackshot.
So it is another big win for Team McNair. They've been the dominant tandem in the Ontario Sire Stakes again this season. Father Greg, who trains and co-owns, and Doug in the driver's seat. Again, congratulating the other members of the ownership group, Dale Hunter, Frank Brundle, and George Kerr. They will all be celebrating, no doubt, an impressive grassroots victory for Crackshot, his 4th win this season, and puts another $35,000 on his card, now well over $60,000 on the season, with an exclamation point here in 152 and 1. He'll make his way back into the winner's enclosure. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some winner's reaction.
With more than 150 years of tradition behind it, Century Spring Farms has built a reputation for raising and breeding champions. Like 2-time O'Brien Award winner and Horse of the Year, Century Pharaoh. Little Brown Jug champion, Limelight Beach. And current OSS stars, Century Invader and Century Inspector. Their sprawling 200-acre farm in the heart of southwestern Ontario is the ideal location for raising healthy and happy youngsters. Be sure to check out their yearling lineup at this fall's London Classic Yearling Sale. Century Spring Farms, producing champions in Ontario and beyond.
And a look at the beautiful winner's blanket being presented on behalf of the Ontario Sire Stakes. There's Doug McNair. Couple of wins for Doug here this evening, so the beat goes on for him. And going to be a little bit on the muddy side tonight, but you know what? You don't mind it as much when you're in the winner's circle a few times.
Yeah, no, when you're in the winner's circle, you don't really care too much about the weather. I don't think these guys are... They're warriors out there, right? They kind of face the elements. They race year round, so they face much worse than this throughout the year. But Yeah, a little muddy. He's a little muddy right now, but like I said, Doug McNair always shows up on big nights like tonight.
Very happy winners group. There's Jennifer Bodner of Ontario Racing to present the trophy. We've got a nice bouquet of flowers there as well. Got carrots for Crack Shot. Big night for that group. Crack Shot getting it done. $5.30 to win. We talked about it. We thought maybe some of these horses are being overbet. In hindsight, that's a generous price on a colt that won so impressively.
Yeah, I was surprised actually that the favoritism flipped in the end there, but it did. And the 3 logical ones that took all the support end up finishing 1, 2, 3. Mero was one of the price ones that looked at Greg. Perfect second over toe. I thought maybe he makes some noise. Ends up rounding out the superfecta at a big price, but yeah, it kind of played to form, right? And so far, on a night where we see a lot of long shots, usually it's been pretty formful.
Yeah, you're certainly right. The cream rose to the top, certainly in that division. So Crack Shot, full marks for the win, 530. Nice looking colt. And you know what? If he grows up, gets a little bit bigger and stronger in the off season, he's one of those that it looks to me like he's got the tools to maybe make that next step up to the gold level. But we shall see. It's been a really solid 2-year-old campaign for him. Congratulations again to the Winning Connections. And we're going to be heading over to the winner's circle in a moment for some winner's reaction. John Rallis helping out on the show here this evening as well. So one good thing about it, a lot of people probably going to have that one in the start of that late pick 5 wager, hoping for a bit more value.
Not me,
along
though.
the way.
I singled Saba Wilson, so hey, they get my money. They can chop it up now.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? You'd probably be the first to say you've kind of got to play it that way. You had a strong feeling on that horse, and you took a shot and kind of live and die with how that one does. Let's go over now and hear from the Winning Connections.
Championship for 2-year-old pacing colts. I'm here alongside winning co-owner Frank Brundle and winning driver Doug McNair. Frank, I'm just going to start off with you. A $205,000 yearling purchase for this guy. What was it about this colt that wanted you to team up with his dad and some of the other owners?
Well, talking with Greg before, I know he loves the family line. I love the colts they want to keep and a lot of fillies they want to sell. So Greg brought it to me, the attention of this horse, bring it for sale, and it looked good. And I said, yeah, let's do it, no problem.
Just talk about how happy you've been to see his progression. I'm sure maybe early on in the season you might have had aspirations about being a gold colt, but he's progressed really nicely. And just talk about the job, watching him and the job that Greg and his team have done.
It was very happy with him. Like, we had high hopes on him. We wanted to race him in the Metro and stuff like that. We wanted to take him to the Grand River race, and it didn't quite work out so well. We did some other vet work and stuff to him. He came out so well. He raced last week, so great. And to see him race again tonight in this mud is fantastic. Very happy with him.
Obviously, the Ontario Sire Stakes program is just so rich, and just so many talented horses come out of this program. For you, as an owner, Frank, and a breeder, what does it mean to you to have, have a talented horse to get the job done here in a lucrative final?
I'm looking at right now I got a few brood mares at home to race in the Ontario Sire Stakes and having some Ontario sired horse. It's fantastic. I love it. The amount of money they go for, I'm so proud and just love this business. It's amazing.
I'm going to ask maybe Dougie this, but for you, if the gold doesn't fill in a couple weeks of super final, are you going to maybe consider, or is that a discussion you guys are going to have after this big, because that was a big mile?
And that's when he's talking with Chris and with Greg, is if the horse won this race here, if there's a scratch in the super final for the golds, hopefully this horse is going to race there. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited about this horse.
I mean, big mile here, obviously on an off track, so definitely should we look forward to it. Congratulations, Frank.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, here with, if you don't mind switching sides, Doug in here with winning driver Doug McNair. Doug, last time out, this colt got into gear, a little bit late in the lane last time out, but you decided to move him on the front. After last time out, did you have the confidence that he was going to be able to cut the smile and just be strong throughout?
No, I didn't know how I was going to race him. I thought Trevor had the best horse in there, other than ours, but we just had a better position on him early, and when I heard him coming in the first turn, I figured we had to give him a shot in the front, and it worked out. He was a good colt training down, and he just got kind of getting rough there at the end of his miles, and I wasn't sure what it was. It was colt sore or what it was, but they got him down to Lexington and got a good vet looked at him there and figured out what he had wrong with him, and he's been great ever since.
Did he just noticeably, you touch on the vet work that happened in Lexington, though, did he feel noticeably different when you stepped out for post-parade that night when he was able to pull off the win last start?
Well, the race he was still a little funny in the post parade, and even tonight he wasn't 100%. But tonight he was way better gated than even last week. He never put no ripples in and paced right through to the wire. So I was real happy with him.
Just from an attention standpoint, from mental standpoint, this colt, is he pretty, is he pretty smart upstairs? Does he know what he's going to do when he's on the lead? Does he know it's business?
Yeah, I think so. He's a cocky little bugger. If you watch him strut around out there, he's kind of like his co-owner here. But other than that, he's a versatile colt. He can race in the lead. He can race from off. So that, like Frank was saying, we're looking forward to him. Hopefully for maybe even super final or even for next year for sure.
And lastly, obviously you've raced, with Gold Colts, you've raced against them too. After the last 2 efforts, do you think he stacks up pretty well against them if he's able to get in?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's overly tough this year, and he I don't think he embarrassed himself for sure.
Congratulations, Doug. Best of luck the rest of the night.
Thanks, Johnny.
All right, there's Crackshot, Doug McNair, Frank Brundle, and Team Greg McNair here who get it done here in the Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots Final.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
We are back at Woodbine Mohawk Park, just at the midway point of tonight's Grassroots Championships. 4 races completed. We've got 4 more to show you live here this evening. It's going to be the 3-year-old filly trot coming up next. And here another pretty good looking betting board early on as we get a look at the field for this 10-horse final. The hot horse coming in, Rhythm of Life. Rhythm of Life went on a little bit of a roll. Had that streak derailed last time though from post 10. Gets post 6 to work with here. 9-5 favorite in the field though. Valentine Blue Chip as the McNair tandem of Greg and Doug try to notch another Grassroots Championship win here tonight. I'll give you a look at the leaderboard in this division as well, and it is Rhythm of Life leading the way with 176 points, and several of the top 5 will be here in the final. New wrinkle this year, Rob will quickly mention, is the fact that, and we heard John allude to it in his post-race interview there, that the Grassroots winners will have the chance to jump up and compete in the super final this year, provided that division doesn't fill with a full field. So I assume we'll see a couple of these horses competing in the super finals, and what an interesting wrinkle.
I think it's amazing. I really do. These horses, some of them just getting better as the season goes on, and it's nice to have that opportunity to jump up and face the gold types, right? So we talk about that race being a springboard for better things. Imagine that. Imagine he gets into the gold, the super final, and then is able to hold his own in there, which off that mile you would certainly think he wouldn't embarrass himself in that type of a race. So, and Frank Brundle too, he seems pretty excited about it. I've known Frank a long time. He's been a big supporter of the sport of harness racing. A lot of nice horses, but I know he really craves those big stake wins, and now it's nice to see him get one here in the Grassroots.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Just seeing his authentic reaction. He's excited. He's going to want to invest a little bit more this fall and be back swinging in races like this next season. And yeah, I mean, almost every year there is at least one or two of these divisions where we kind of say to ourselves, boy, that horse would certainly make an account of himself in the super final. So this year they're going to get a chance to maybe put their money where their mouth is, and it'll be interesting to see over the next couple of weeks. One gentleman that'll be excited for his opportunity here is the driver of Post 5 starter Flirty Dancer, Tyler Jones, guy that's been making a bit of a name for himself here on this circuit over the last couple of seasons. Earlier tonight, Jamie McDonald caught up with him for his thoughts.
Moving on to race 7 for our 3-year-old fillies on the trot. I've got Tyler Jones standing here with me, leaving from Post 5 with Flirty Dancer. You've raced this filly all season. How have you seen her grow and develop?
Yeah, she finished a year off last year really well. Scott won the grassroots final with her. And then she came back and they tried her in the golds and the SBOA and sort of had to push her a little too much, and she made a couple breaks. And then we sort of worked on that. And once she got going in her gear, then she's been flawless ever since.
Now, she's just on Lasix the last couple starts. Have you noticed a difference out on the track?
Yeah, her start at Georgian Downs in the grassroots, she didn't quite finish the way we thought she would, and we sort of blamed it on that night being her off night. And then she came back the next week, and she was still kind of the same way, and they scoped her, and she showed a little blood. So then they put her on Lasix, and she's been coming back really well. So pretty happy.
That's great. Post 5, middle of the pack, right behind the starting gate tonight. Is that kind of not the best spot with the weather, or it doesn't matter?
No, that's really good for her. Okay. She's been drawing inside lately, and that's not her thing. She likes to kind of go out straight, so 5-hole is couldn't ask for a better position.
Perfect. Good luck tonight, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, some nice words there from Tyler Jones. Young guy you certainly have to be impressed with. He's got the talent. He's certainly got the pedigree to be a good all-around horseman, certainly, and a good driver as well. And kind of has that cerebral outlook on the game.
Yeah,
that probably is going to help him.
Got some swagger to him, too, right?
Yeah,
You've
does.
seen it kind of talking some smack on the track. The other night I saw him in the stretch there and dragging the whip, having a good time. So, the sport probably needs a little more of that, Greg, We see it in every other sport. We need it more in harness racing.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd get your thoughts. I mean, you've followed this circuit for decades, and you've seen so many top reinsmen come and go. I feel like right now at this point in time, the driver colony is probably the deepest it's ever been in terms of just so much talent. It's so competitive, and it makes the run that James McDonald has been on that much more impressive. Yeah,
no, I agree with you. It's a very deep driving colony, and to think that James dominates the way that he does against these guys. I mean, like I said, Doug McNair is a guy that I think would be a leading driver at many other tracks, right? Louis Philippe Bois, same thing. Bob McClure. So James has had incredible success, but this driving colony is very deep and tough to break in, right? So you see guys like Tyler Jones making their way in it. It's nice to see the young guys coming up and having success.
And the good thing is for James, it's going to keep pushing him. He won't be able to rest on his laurels because these guys at any point in time can get hot. They can team up with a hot stable and can really push him. Conversely, for those guys, I think they all get along well. They all have a lot of respect for each other. But that's going to eat them a little bit, and they're going to want to have their chance to dethrone him atop the standings here. So it just makes for a real competitive group and competitive atmosphere. And I think the proof is in the pudding when you see Grand Circuit nights here where, there were times where, some of the top drivers that compete on the Grand Circuit regularly would come in and kind of dominate. And you don't see that happen as much now.
No, you don't anymore. No, absolutely. And you see our guys go down, the big stakes events south of the border and have a lot of success too, right? Which is fantastic to see. So wasn't always like that, when I was growing up, but still have a lot of fond memories watching guys like, Doug Brown, Steve Connor back when I was a kid coming up in the sport.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit of that earlier today. Highland Kismet, another big win over the sloppy going today. Nice bounce back win after that disappointment in the Canadian Trotting Classic. And going to be a fun time of year to be in Lexington over the next week or two. Let's meet the trotters for this championship final. 3-year-old fillies, another full field of 10. There's Mascara, She was an $85,000 London yearling purchase, 3-time winner this season, closing in on $100,000 lifetime.
3 is Valentine Blue Chip. Doug McNair, Greg McNair, those come right back. 7 for 9 this season, 8 top 2 finishes, almost $90,000 in earnings.
West River Ivory, owned by Nova Scotia Connections, and Paul McDonnell does the training and driving on this one. 0 for 11 this year, but often hits the board and has almost $100,000 earned.
5 is Flirty Dancer, the winner of the Grassroots Championship last season at 2. Got off to a slow start this year, but the addition of trotting hopples and Lasix has certainly turned her around a little bit. 2 for 12, 6 on the board finishes. Tyler Jones for Paul Reed.
Rhythm of Life, she's been busy this year. 17 starts, 5 wins, $60,000 made, $127,000 lifetime. Post 10 last time, gets a much better starting spot tonight with James
7 is
McDonald
birthday
driving.
money for Todd Ratchford and Matthew Bax. Phillies by resolve. She's got 6 on the board finishes in 12 tries, just 2 victories, but almost $50,000 in earnings.
Trainer Luc Blais, driver Louis-Philippe Bois, and Determination look for their second championship of the night. They'll send out post 8 starter Love Those Legs.
And the 9 is Radical Legacy for Travis Cullen, another entry for trainer Greg McNair. Was a winner in the Prospect Series final last season at Grand River. This year, competing primarily in the grassroots. 3 victories out of 15 tries, 8 on the board finishes, just over $30,000 in earnings.
And Mark Etzel co-owns and trains number 10 Mass Money, as we mentioned earlier. Mark today at the Red Mile with Highland Kismet winning a division of the Bluegrass. He's looking to cap off the big day with a grassroots championship. Tough assignment, though, from a post-10 starting spot. Double J will be on board this one. Her currency for Scott McEnany, who also co-owns this one. A solid campaign, and when you look through all of the starters in the field, very similar to what we saw in the last race. So much good recent form that it makes it tough to identify what you would call a standout. Yeah, it really is. You know, for me, this race came down to what I thought was going to be a battle between 2 horses, which are the 2 favorites right now, the 3 Valentine Blue Chip and the 6 Rhythm of Life. Interesting thing is, Rhythm of Life, Greg, was a horse that was camera shy, just had a couple of victories in her career until going on that recent win streak where she won 4 in a row. So was always known as one that couldn't get to the winner's circle, but has since really turned up the heat. And last time out did have that dreaded 10-hole when she finished third to Valentine Blue Chip. So I think it's those 2, but I mean, again, you know, maybe we'll see it on the trot where we see our first big price of the night. And a Rhythm of Life, interesting ownership group on this one. Landmark 16 Racing Stable, the fractional ownership group, with Glengate Farms on the ownership as well. Carmen Chrisdale and Guy Haskell. So this one will have a lot of rooting interests behind her. And we talked about the schedule. So this one not only has the talent that we've seen on the racetrack, got a little bit of durability on her side because she's held up her form quite well despite a busy campaign. Yeah, no, she has. And I mean, the thing is that she was always kind of one that would, you know, be in the mix, and then recently has started racking up the victories. You get that magical post position here, though, right at Mohawk Park, post 6 for Rhythm of Life here. You pick up James McDonald. Bob McClure has been the primary driver, you know, throughout the season for her, but now you get King James aboard with Bob not here. And again, you know, I know a lot of people that are all over her tonight, but Valentine Blue Chip, and we already seen Team McNair having success tonight. I think that, you know, she's the one to beat. I mean, she held her own at the gold level. I saw that race at Grand River. Our Eliza did get the better of her, but she certainly made a good account of herself. So I think with the right kind of trip, she is the most likely winner here. But again, it might come down to a battle between those 2. She a daughter of Muscle Mass, and Muscle Mass again this year. Kind of ho-hum, but Muscle Mass, again, the leading overall trotter in the Ontario, or trotting stallion, I should say, in the Ontario Sire Stakes program. On the pacing side, the veteran Bettor's Delight, once again leading overall in the category, but some new faces, as we mentioned, and that really adds an element of excitement. But yeah, you get a good Muscle Mass, and this is what you generally see. They're favored or close to it in these championship races. Talking about post position, what do you think the best post position is for a trotter here at Mohawk? I always want 5 or 6, no matter what, right? Follow the car. I mean, 6 has had incredible success on the circuit, both in the pace and the trot, but post 5's not far behind it. So for me, I mean, as a bettor, I'm always looking center of the gate. That's when I get excited. When a horse is drawing outside, they get to the center of the gate, that's when I get most excited. So today, a lot of that kind of steady rain, kind of more of a mist for a lot of the day, and then it got a little bit heavier at some point this afternoon. Despite all of that, though, boy, the track has held up fantastic. And, it looks like it's just going to be clear sailing, I think, here for the rest of the night. You can see a little bit of wetness still on top, but it's going to dry out as we move on a little bit later in the program. And the horses are all handling it quite well. We'll see how the 3-year-old filly trotters do on it. Coming up now, the starting gate rolling for this championship final. Back upstairs to Ken Middleton.
We've seen both fillies have exciting seasons, and they'll get together here tonight to the Chad mentioned. 8 others as well. Valentine Blue Chip at 6-5 the choice. She's 7 for 9 this year. Rhythm of Life, second choice at 9-5. 5 wins from 17 starts. The gate swings off the turn into the stretch. It's post time. Field picks up speed. Here they come. And they're off. Good beginning inside. Mascara fires out. Down the center, Flirty Dancer. From the rail pushes out Her Currency. Here's Birthday Money activated 4th. Way out wide, Mass Money into 5th. In between horses there, 6th. In tight quarters, Valentine Blue Chip. Further back we go to find West River Ivory. Wide going in the turn. Stacked up is Love Those Legs. Drop down to the rail goes Rhythm of Life. She's in a traffic nightmare early. And the trailer Radical Legacy. Opening quarter was 27-3. So they move into the backstretch. Mascara fronts them. Second to Flirty Dancer. Her Currency, then Mass Money. Here's a 3 wide. Love Those Legs, who got tangled up in early first turn traffic, and she's in a world of trouble here as she'll be parked towards the midway point, maybe beyond. As here comes Love Those Legs now to take on Mascara. Mascara is going to throw her a bone, and Love Those Legs clears to the front. Love Those Legs finds the lead in 58-2. Mascara gets covered up now second. Outside Valentine Blue Chip. Favorites on the march into third. Flirty Dancer from in 4th. She'll escape to the outside. She caught a big break there as Mass Money was gapping cover. Then inside Her Currency. Further back we go to West River Ivory. Overland is Birthday Money. Rhythm of Life has yet to see the light of day. And to the outside is Radical Legacy. Down to 3/4 they go. Chasing Love Those Legs. Valentine Blue Chip. Ready to sink her teeth into that leader at 3/4 in 127-1. Turning home, and it's Love Those Legs on top of length. Valentine Blue Chip on the outside goes into deep stretch drift mode. Flirty Dancer, she opts to come to the outside. She'll get carried wide as they're in deep stretch, trying to still get to Love Those Legs. Love Those Legs trying to hold on. Here's Flirty Dancer on the far outside. Still there, Love Those Legs. What a trip for Love Those Legs. Love Those Legs parked to the midway point and scores in 1:55-3.
That was a hard-earned victory, to say the least. Love Those Legs. Despite the long park out, the way she took the lead with authority left you thinking that this filly had brought her A game tonight. It was just a matter of could she hold up to that demanding early first half pace, but she answers the question and gives these connections their second win of the night.
Yeah, it's second win for these connections, and Love Those Legs. It's a powerful victory, right? I mean, a horse that gets parked that far, obviously gets released a lead. That kind of helped her a little bit, but then she takes on some serious rivals in the late stages and holds true to the wire. And we saw good things from this horse kind of throughout the year. She did make miscues at points in the season, but they even tried her on the Grand Circuit where she didn't get much of a chance on that occasion. But nice win tonight for Love Those Legs.
And this is going to be one of the last ones we'll see from the great Cadabra. And his legacy continues on here. 55-3. That's an impressive final half time after that long park out early. So love that legs. Yes, demanding early fractions, but kind of clear sailing. That wasn't the case for Rhythm of Life. That one really had a traffic troubled trip all the way, and just one of those races where nothing worked out, had all kinds of trot late, but we'll have to wait for another day.
Yeah, and after saying, right, we'd love to have post 6 or post 5, and post 6 Rhythm of Life ends up getting locked in pretty much the entire mile. And Flirty Dancer almost ended up in the same boat, was able to slip out behind Valentine Blue Chip on the final turn, and then was able to do good things in the stretch, just not good enough to get to Love Those Legs.
All right, we're getting another look at the closing strides here. It was Flirty Dancer getting up for second. Valentine Blue Chip and Mascara rounding out the top 4, and it was close for that 5th and final check as we get a good look here from the cable cam. And you can see the top 4 finishers here, and it looked like it was Rhythm of Life squeezing through there, finishing 5th. And by the time they got to the turn here on the run out, she was up to 2nd. So tough luck for some rivals on these nights, and others that get clear sailing. But love those legs. Full marks for this victory here tonight. 2nd again of the evening for the same connections. Owners Determination of Montreal, trainer Luc Blais, and driver Louis-Philippe Bois. And with the victory, closes in on $100,000 in seasonal earnings, $155 and 3 the win time. Blanket presentation being made. While that takes place, we'll take another quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the prices and set things up for race 8 next.
Winback Farm of Delaware is home to 8 exceptional stallions. New in 2024, Nutcracker Sweet, a full brother to Double Millionaire Better Sweet and half brother to the Great Sweet Lou. World Champion He's Watching, a proven sire of stakes winners, including Double Millionaire Tattoo Artist, Sports Column, an Ontario Sire Stakes star, and a 19-time winner. Top Flight Angel, who won the Yonkers Trot Final and is a multiple New York Sire Stakes champion. Also standing, Badlands Hanover, Classic Card Shark, Glide Master, and Ronnie's Bags again. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
And here's a look again at the winning connections of our 3-year-old filly trot final, and it was Love Those Legs, 155 and 3. The victory here, and a mild upset win, $17.30 on the nose, with Flirty Dancer, another of those long shots, finishing in 2nd. The favorite Valentine Blue Chip has to settle for 3rd over Mascara. The Exotics, some nice returns, $106.10 for that dollar exacta payout. The Try paying just over $100 as well. So 2 wins now, and still plenty of more races to come here on championship night of the Grassroots. We're going to hear from the winning connections in a moment. Following that, we'll be joined by Andrew Gahn as well of Ontario Racing. And again, we're going over now to John Rallis, who's got the winning driver, Louis-Philippe Bois.
I'm here with winning driver Louis-Philippe Bois. Louis, there was a lot going on early on in that mile off the gate. Tell us what you saw.
Yeah, to be honest, going in the first turn, well, first, my filly, she's not a fan of the front. She's a little better chasing. That was what I was trying first. I'm pretty sure that's what Dougie's filly is the same a little bit. Every time she raced better, I think, chasing, so he was trying to trip her too. And going in the first turn, I was in trouble, but I knew he was in trouble too. I'm like, I don't know what Doug's gonna do there. He was forced a little bit with Todd floating with a long shot that nobody really wanted to follow. So I decided to take a shot there. I didn't want to get. My other option was to get in so much traffic that I said, well, you know what? If the filly's good, she's good. And it's just, I mean, like Luke's team, they just had her really impressively good tonight. I know she's been showing better and better every week, but I wasn't expecting that huge of effort, and I'm just happy she did.
Yeah, because you rated her in the past pretty well, Louis, and obviously, you know, she has gotten picked off from other fillies. At the top of the lane, when you see Rhythm of Life, Valentine Blue Chip coming right at you, I mean, what are you thinking, and how did she respond?
Well, like I said, I knew that Doug had to use his filly pretty hard too, so I was kind of just slowing mine. I wasn't scared at them coming too much near of me. I mean, I was like, we both use our filly pretty hard at that point, and she just kind of got done a bit better and better there. She felt really good when she finally opened up a little bit in the stretch. So at that point, I was really confident. Didn't pull the plugs, nothing. She felt real strong still at the wire. Just impressive how she raced tonight.
Just as a driver, though, Louis, just take us through the mindset of how you kind of have to call an audible or pivot from a situation like that off the gate, right? You see Rhythm of Life drawing the 6-hole. We know she's got early speed. She didn't get away too well. Other fillies who left out early off the gate, who maybe you didn't factor in leaving. I mean, in that situation, I mean, how quick do you need to react? And just take us through your thought process mentally as a driver.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the kind of example that if you go for a race that's like a regular race or like a regular grassroots event that you know there are going to be other races, at that point sometimes you're like, well, I'm in trouble, I'm going to take back a little bit, not I wouldn't say not discourage her filly or whatever, but it was kind of tonight or never for her. I think it's going to be her biggest race, her last biggest race in her career, I would say. So, like I said, living, floating a little bit and seeing that I had too much traffic, I just take a shot, and all the credit goes to the filly and the team.
Well, nice drive there, Louis. Nice job navigating through all that traffic. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, there's Louis Waugh, Team Determination, and Luc Blais, who get it done here with Love Those Legs in the Solstice Grassroots Final.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns October 15th and 16th to the Western Fair District Agriplex. Recent London sales standouts include O'Brien Award winners and millionaire performers, Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy, and Stockade Sealster. Leading North American consigners and yearlings by the sport's top sires, all under one roof in a world-class facility. Find your next champion at the London Classic Yearling Sale. Find out more by visiting londonclassic.ca.
Sealster, a name synonymous with quality. From their picturesque farm in Lucan, Ontario, Sealster Farms has been producing champions for decades. Stars like $650,000 winner Poseidon Sealster, millionaire mares Karma and Kendall Sealster, and two-time O'Brien Award-winning Stockade Sealster. Sealster is also the home of many of Canada's top stallions, like Sunshine Beach, All Bets Off, and world champion superstar Bulldog Hanover, the sport's all-time fastest performer. Find your next champion at Sealster Farms. For more information, visit sealsterfarms.com.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 9 exceptional stallions, including Beach Glass, the last great son of legendary sire of sires, Some Beach Somewhere. Also new in 2024, Lawless Shadow, an O'Brien Award winner for 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Double millionaire betting line, sire of 5 winners of over $400,000. Mick Wicked, the richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, and Hall of Fame inductee. Trixton, sire of 6 who have earned over $500,000. Including O'Brien Award winner Evident Beauty. Also standing Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and My MVP. For more information, winbackfarm.com.
Welcome back. There's the scene from the Winner's Circle location tonight at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Grassroots Championship night. And what a night it has been so far. Got a little break in the action here as we get 3 more races teed up for you here this evening. I want to welcome in Andrew Gaughan for a few moments to chat with me. Andrew is the chair of Ontario Racing, the umbrella organization that was really the voice for Ontario Racing and bringing all of the different various industry stakeholders together. Andrew, you've been an industry executive and have about 30 plus years of experience, certainly. So for people that aren't familiar with your name or haven't met you before, just tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, thank you, Greg, and great to be on the show, by the way, and thanks for having me on. I started in the industry in the mid-'90s, and I put a good shift in with Woodbine Entertainment. Actually, we were called Ontario Jockey Club at the time, in fact, but morphed into Woodbine Entertainment Group along the way. I was really focused on business development, and I was heavily involved in the startup of HBI and a number of business development activities. And after about 7 years at Woodbine, I moved on to Magna Entertainment, the company that was spun out of Magna Automotive and Frank Stronach.
Yep.
So it was cool because I got a chance to see and be involved in actually buying a lot of big U.S. racetracks across the board. Spent a lot of time in the U.S., understanding the U.S. business as well, horse racing, obviously. And then I was with 2 companies after that in my career, Scientific Games Corp and Sportech. And those were both publicly traded listed companies. And really what we did in those companies was we built, sold, delivered, and managed tote systems. So I was involved in, for a while, Woodbine Systems and other Canadian operators. But then I also saw really the global stage of horse racing. And in fact, I lived in England for 4 years, from 2004 to 2008, with Scientific Games managing all their businesses across Europe for horse racing.
Yep. I just wanted to ask you, just kind of quickly, going off topic a little bit, but You talked about your history here at Woodbine Entertainment in the early days of HPI. I think it was TRN initially.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
how proud are you to see, what it's become and the longevity it's had?
I'm very proud. It's a great question. In fact, TRN, I started TRN as well. I cut the original deal with Bell. What was the name of the Bell division? But we got the TRN up on the satellite, and I negotiated the commercial terms with the Bell group of companies, and we set up the television infrastructure at Woodbine. Hired Dave Naylor out of CBC and a whole bunch of good people.
My former boss.
Yes.
Good guy.
So, and HBI, of course, has become the engine of Woodbine wagering and Canadian wagering. I was even involved in the early days of convincing the other racetracks across Canada to join us, and which eventually did happen. So, no, I'm massively proud of that, and I think obviously the people that followed on in my footsteps did terrific work. I think you all know the names and stuff. I won't go there, but it's built upon itself. And but unfortunately, and we're going to segue to where we're at. We're now up against it, the industry, and we're under competitive threats on all fronts. So we'll come back around that. But I'm very proud of the legacy that I built.
Yeah, I think it's certainly great for Ontario racing. Obviously, that you're back in the fold now in this capacity, and hopefully able to have a real positive impact here for the industry. You've got a good group that you're working with, and I know you've got Jamie McMartin, longtime executive, of course, at Woodbine Entertainment as well, that's helping in a consultation capacity. Very important time, as you mentioned. You're coming up to the end of the first term of the long-term funding agreement, a critical time. So tell us what's happening on that front and what Ontario racing is ultimately working towards.
Sure. Yeah, we've been, myself and the management team, a number of folks, Jamie Martin very much involved in strategically advising and guiding thoughts, and the board, I should add. The board is very active. I'm one of 11 board members at Ontario Racing. I'm the independent chair, but I have all the stakeholders represented across the industry from all three breeds. And we went away in February, actually, and we sat down as a board, and we sort of strategically planned where we thought and knew and felt the industry needed to look and be headed, and in particular, in our relationship with the government and OLG. So we did that in February. It culminated in a strategic plan, which has led to a series of documents that we've developed. And we are now actively negotiating with the Ontario government through the OLG, obviously our government partner directly, to take the existing agreement, the LTFA, the long-term funding agreement, the 20-year agreement, which, as you aptly point out, is coming to the end of the first term in the spring of 2026, not too far away. And we're actively dialoguing, negotiating with the government through the OLG to enhance that agreement and its funding, and some of the provisions that we've now realized in the first term, have presented some pain points for the industry. So we've really done a lot of good deep thought, business analytics, and I've got a really talented team again at the OR management level. Jennifer Bodner, Gordon Thane, the executive director, Sandra Schneider, a number of people involved, Jamie. So yeah, we're in this active negotiation phase with government to hopefully get to a result that the industry will find very beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, 2013 slots at racetracks program ended, and things have been pretty flat since then, and no industry contraction. So predictably, the expense side, I guess, is kind of caught up and maybe even overtaken a little bit. The purse levels haven't risen to match that. So challenging time. I think you'd be the first to admit that is the case. So are you able to get a bit of detail on what you're hoping? I know you can't get into obviously specifics, but I guess for horse people, that the confidence knowing that Ontario Racing is working to try and get get some more purse money and get a little bit better terms for that long-term funding agreement going forward.
Sure, Greg. Yeah, you can appreciate that. What I wouldn't want to do is sort of negotiate in public the details of the ask, as we like to refer to it, for the next term, starting in 2026 fiscal year. But for sure, what we're focused on is, well, let's be honest. We all know society has been through an extremely inflationary period over the last several years. We've all felt it at a personal level, individual business level, and the horse racing industry and all its participants, and particularly, frankly, the supply side, as I like to refer, the horse people, the breeders, the owners, the investors, the cost base to run these businesses, and in most cases they're family-owned businesses, people that have really staked themselves and put personal capital and generational wealth at risk. Inflation's hit hard. Unfortunately, in the initial agreement, there wasn't really a recognition of that. So the number one thing that we're in dialogue and, frankly, negotiation with the government on is you got to adjust the next term to deal with the inflationary impact of this world on our businesses. And that's real. And I frankly, from my perspective, and while I've been talking mostly to the bureaucracy in government, soon to be in front of the key political decision makers, I think that's a no-brainer. Like, there's nothing you can come back and refute and say to me that is this is made up stuff. It's not. This is reality of what all folks have been facing in businesses in every economy and sector. I happen to think that the horse racing sector, because we've done some quite a bit of analysis and collected data, I think it's been particularly hard hit in terms of its input costs. So all the more reason for the government to get open-minded and to up the payments back to the industry as a result. The other thing is we're framing the ask and the enhanced funding, let's call it, in the next term to be focused on supporting the environment that allows people to feel confident to invest in Ontario bred and trained and race horses. So we really want the funding and the way we're pushing the government to consider the enhanced funding to come through the OR mechanisms and administration to make sure it ends up in the horse improvement program infrastructures and funding, Ontario-related purses, and anything that would be capital or racetrack related would be related to racing-specific endeavors at all the racetracks, including the Woodbine-owned properties. So we're very cognizant of the economic situation. And the last thing I'll say is we have to recognize, and the government has to recognize, is that single sports wagering and the advent of iGaming and sports wagering in Ontario has had a detrimental impact on this industry. HMA wagering is down, as we all know, fairly significantly over the last 18 and probably projecting out the next 24, 36 months. That's having a flow-through impact on the HIP funding, because HIP takes a piece of the HMA wagering. And generally speaking, that HMA wagering at its high commission level fuels Ontario racing. And that's been absolutely hit by single sports wagering. The government's involved in that, benefiting it. They need to look out for us.
All right. Well, listen, thanks so much. We could talk at length about this. We hope to get you on again sometime. Another thing, I saw the strategic plan the other day, and I love the fact that you're also at least mentioning and trying to revisit integration with OLG as well for the industry. That's something that was talked about a number of years back. So thanks for the good work. Continued good luck with everything, and thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you, Greg. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right. We've got the starting gate rolling here for race number 8. This is the Grassroots Championship for 3-year-old filly pacers. And once again, the man who will call the action, Ken Middleton.
Player here, 3 to 5. Expect him to be a power player here tonight as we get set for this 8th race, the OSS Grassroots Final for 3-year-old filly Pacers. We've got a full field of 10 as the gate swings off the turn into the stretch. It's post time and made a break. Quickly reset, but a break nonetheless. They're off and pacing and a good beginning in the center. Collusion Hanover rockets out of there. Leaving out with him at the inside is How Much. Wider is Better with Glasses. Pushing from the rail is Past to Delight. In the center, the racetrack drives Wicked Leader into 5th. Taken back is We Believe in 6th. 7th off the speed goes Swift Talker. Then We Meet Again. Backed up towards the rail is Greatest Pleasure, and Anne trucks on. Here's the quarter. Compliments of the favorite Collusion Hanover. Collusion Hanover, the heavy hitters hammered away on this one. 1-9 favorite, chops out 26 speed of the quarter pole, and McNair climbing all over him with How Much in that pocket spot. Those two take off on the others by some 3 lengths. Past to Delight is 3rd. Better with Glasses 4th. Tough Trip for Ann parked out 5th. 6th inside, 2 Wicked Leader. 7th and on the move in the backfield goes We Meet Again. Further back at the inside, We Believe in. Tipped out goes Swift Talker, and trailing his Greatest Pleasure. Halftime, 54-3. How Much pops pocket, and McNair pops plugs as Collusion Hanover has hooked up in a final turn tussle with How Much. How Much on the outside, ahead in front. Collusion Hanover tries to fight back at the inside. 6 lengths to Past to Delight, now 3rd. Then tipped out is Better with Glasses 4th. Wicked Leader 5th. 6th inside as they track the turn. We Believe in. A wild throw down to 3/4. Check it out, 121-4. And it's Collusion Hanover coming into the stretch. How Much on the outside 2nd has held up the white flag as Collusion Hanover dropped the hammer on that one and widens out the lead now to 3, now 4. And it's all Collusion Hanover in deep stretch. Widening out on this field. How Much back to 2nd. Past to Delight with late speed 3rd outside. This one's over. It was over at the head of the stretch. Collusion Hanover slam dunk in the Grassroots Championship. Past to Delight 2nd. How Much 3rd. Mile 150-1.
Well, it is the Determination show tonight, and trainer Luc Blais, Louis-Philippe Roy, that trio teaming up for a 3rd Grassroots Championship. This time it is Collusion Hanover, and you talk about ultra impressive 150-1 despite the weather conditions here this evening, and kind of dropped them like a bad habit at the top of the stretch, Robert. This is a special looking filly at this point.
Definitely is, and How Much, took on, unleashed a big challenge on this horse. It was kind of the showdown we thought we'd see, but maybe a little sooner than we figured we'd see it, but could not get past her. Obviously, she turned that one away and just won for fun, and the beat goes on, right, for these connections, having a fantastic night on Grassroots Finals night.
Absolutely, and we talked earlier as well that winners tonight, pending how many enter for those super finals in a couple of weeks, might have the opportunity to compete in those lucrative championships as well. Safe to say Collusion Hanover wouldn't look out of place in there.
No, not at all. Absolutely not. I mean, she's had a great season, and that performance today was absolutely incredible, and enough time, too, in between for her to recover, right? I mean, that's a pretty big mile that she just went, and she got tested pretty good, but still just proved that she's much the best in this division. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward we're going to see some, for sure, I think, that are going to try that task, and she'd be one that I'd be pretty excited about.
Yeah, I hope so. You just would love to see how they stack up. Although we should say, some of the best fillies in North America would be waiting for her in that super final. But Collusion Hanover lives up to that 1-9 status, and what a night at the office for LPR. And we mentioned earlier, if you were doing year-end voting in certain categories, you wonder, and you were doing that right now, who would finalists be? And I don't think it's a stretch to think LPR might be a finalist again for Driver of the Year.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, he's had a lot of big victories, right? I mean, of course, the NA Cup, right? And tremendous success in the OSS program, and of course, driving all the horses now for Determination and Luc Blais, and the success that they've had. They got some really nice horses, and we're going to see more of them certainly the rest of the season. So LPR, another monster year, but I mean, it's tough for anyone to ever get near King James.
they're going to need to build a new garage or something to be able to hold all those blankets they're winning tonight and those trophies.
Yeah, no, you know what? I've been on their train on the Grand Circuit nights. It hasn't worked out so much. I guess I should need to be on their train tonight, right? The Blais, Determination, and Louis Philippe Waugh train, because they are just racking them up tonight, and not all at favorite status either, right? A couple of favorites, but also a nice price too. Would love those legs.
And, you love this time of year. We've got these races tonight. We've got the super finals in a couple of weeks. And then, of course, just a couple of days after that, we'll have the London Classic Yearling Sale. We're going to see siblings selling to some of these championship winners, some key updates there. But also, the connections are going to have a few dollars in the pocket to go shopping again for the next crop of champions.
Yeah, and we know it gets reinvested with Determination, right? I mean, we know that for sure, and many others as well. I mean, always nicer when you get one of these stakes wins to have that bankroll to go out and find another one.
All right, let's take another quick commercial break. Still a couple of finals left to come, and after the break, we'll have the prices and hear from some winning connections.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
Collusion Hanover, a good night for favorites this evening as well. Collusion Hanover heavily backed. The public was all over this one. $2.30, very popular winner. Some low exotic returns, but a lot of people cashing, and still a few races to try and reinvest and maybe hit a bigger priced winner along the way. So we're 6 races in. We've got 2 more championships still to come on what's been another highly entertaining grassroots championship night here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And I think we're going to hear from some winning connections. Looks like John Rallis is getting ready to stand by over in the winner circle location. And Mother Nature at least has cooperated a little bit, Rob, since we first came on.
Yeah,
that's good. That's some good news for us.
Everyone was telling me that it was supposed to clear up. I had my doubts when we first got here, right? But certainly has held up much nicer as the night has gone on, and not too cool. Kind of perfect weather other than the rain earlier.
All right, let's show folks this. Now we're not giving this one away tonight, but on Super Final night, I don't know if we can get a good look at it here. But this is a tremendous OSS swag package. There, look at that. We've got ball caps, toques, sweaters, and much more. All right, let's go back over to John Rallis and catch up with the winning connections.
And driver Louis Philippe Waugh as Collusion Hanover gets it done here for the 3-year-old filly Pacers. Louis, from one eventful mile to the next, obviously Doug Pole's pocket, at the backside for you. Just take us through that mile.
Yeah, like Doug did exactly what I thought he would do going to the quarter. He stretched me a little bit, made my filly work. He had this, in my opinion, second best, the one that could give a run at mine. So he did that perfect. I think that his filly got a little hot on the backside because we were still going. I felt like we didn't have the tilly timer, but we felt like we were going good fraction. And I saw he had no option. His filly was getting out on my back and maybe a little rough gated because he was doubling her up a little bit, so he kind of had to move her there. I mean, at that point, I'm so confident in my filly that I wasn't going to release anyone there.
It was a 121 third quarter that popped up, a big third quarter. Did you feel like anyone else was going to give you a run? Did she still feel good at the top of the lane that you could finish off this mile pretty strong?
Well, I was scared a little bit, but like I said, in my opinion, it was almost a 2 filly race at this point of the year. They were the 2 coming in that race in the best shape, I would say. So if I had to go in an early battle, I was kind of happy it was with her because that way I wasn't, not that I wasn't scared, but I felt like those 2 filly had a little edge on the rest of the group, so he would have taken really a bad performance from my filly to get beat by the other ones.
You know, she's been a part of some pretty big miles, but last week she was comfortable going in sub 50. You know, was that a little bit of an eye-opener for you last week, especially going to tonight?
Yeah, most of Luke's horses, they've been getting better and better as the season's going. This one is one that it's very obvious. Early in the season, she was just I would say, regular grassroots. She was average grassroots, and lately she showed that she belongs to probably the upper tier, the gold there. So, I mean, I was just made my job pretty easy there, sitting behind her.
Is that a discussion maybe you and Luke had, you know, going into this race tonight, if she was able to go forth a pretty big mile, that the super final is going to be something that they're going to really consider if there's an opening in 2 weeks?
We didn't discuss that, but I'm pretty sure they will. The way she raced, like I said, I mean, we know golds are all top fillies like her, but I think she belongs in there. I'm not saying she's going to be the best, but if she was mine, I'll take a shot for sure.
Certainly proved that tonight, Louis, and even last week as well. Congratulations on a pretty big night. Keep it going.
Thank you.
All right, there's Louis-Philippe Roy, Determination, who at 3 OSS Grassroots Finals, Escallusion Hanover get it done here tonight.
Really interesting to hear Louis talk about you know, how this filly's kind of almost flipped a switch from earlier in the year to become the dominant one she is, and maybe continue to step forward. Another win for Hanover Shoe Farms, the #2 breeder in the OSS program this season, and filly certainly with a bright future. Again, wanted to show you quickly the swag package. This is what we're going to be giving away on our super final broadcast. We'll be back live on Cosa-Tv, all 8 championship finals. Thank you, Rob, for showing that off. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, I can tell you. The OSS have really stepped up their swag game in the last couple of years. They've got some tremendous stuff, so you're going to like this. But tonight, everybody who's left us a comment, and still time to do so, you'll have a chance to win that commemorative Bulldog Hanover baseball cap, and that is a wonderful prize as well. So we'll take another commercial break. We've got 2 more championships still to come. You're watching coverage of the Grassroots Finals from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
Winback Farm of Canada's now home to Meadowlands Pace champion Beach Glass.
Beach Glass wins the Cane Pace. Beach Glass.
Well, today it's Beach Glass. And Beach Glass is going to get there. Beach Glass in front.
Beach Glass! The beach is back! Beach Glass!
New to Winback Farm of Canada in 2024. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
The winner's circle location from Woodbine Mohawk Park, one that has been occupied frequently tonight by Louis-Philippe Roy for Determination and trainer Luke Blais. What a night so far for them. We've got 2 left to go here. Greg Blanchard, Robert Reed Jr. at the desk. And welcome to everybody tuning in tonight. Across North America and worldwide for that matter. We're on several different platforms tonight, so thank you so much for tuning in. We enjoy hearing from you as always. Trevor Ramsey, the mayor of Summerside PEI, on board, says hello. Hi to Trevor and everybody else tuning in tonight. Again, make sure you leave us a comment for your chance to win that Bulldog Hanover baseball cap here this evening. Let's show you the field page for the upcoming 9th race. We're back on the trot. This time it's the 3-year-old colts and Geldings. There was a scratch in this field. Number 2, Stormont, Happy Day will not go. So from post 3 out, they're all going to get to move inside one position on the starting gate. Could be good news for Jack and Abs, one that certainly looks like a player in here for trainer Greg McNair, who co-owns. Been a good night for him so far tonight, and Trevor Henry on board. This guy no worse than third in each of his last 6 coming in. Almost $70,000 earned for him, and in fact he is the point leader in the division.
Yeah, he's the horse that I went to in here as well, and right now 9-1 on the odds board. You're right, moving in that spot should only help his chances, and that one win last year actually came at the gold level. He was an upset winner on that occasion. Success at the grassroots this year, and I think one that's in with a big chance here.
Favorite, though, early on is Elegant Resolve from the Matt back stable of racing, despite a winless record this year. You don't see that too often. He's 0 for 11, but always seems to be right there in the mix. James McDonald will try and guide him to a win. Should take a moment to point out that a Canadian star had a big win tonight south of the border in Dayton.
Yeah, Logan Park, right? Big winner there. And I mean, he's been having just an incredible campaign and certainly raced very hard in the Maple Leaf Trot. I mean, that was one of the kind of a result that should have probably been better for the performance that he did, but a good third there, and now he wins in Dayton tonight.
Yeah, and he's been well traveled this year. He competed in the big trotting event at Yonkers on International Trot Day as well. And yeah, here he is going to Ohio tonight and taking home the hardware in their big Dayton Trotting Derby. Congratulations to the Connections. Great feather in his cap. All right, let's hear from one of the Connections in this upcoming 9th race, driver Tyler Borth, who Louis Waugh, sorry. We're going to hear more from Louis, who earlier tonight caught up with Jamie.
Louis Philippe Waugh joins us now, and we're going to talk about race 9, our 3-year-old colts and geldings on the trot. Leaving from post 7, you have Gambling Hall for Chantel Mitchell. Kind of tell us about this colt. You've raced him a couple times, a couple starts back, not so great. He did make that break. How has he turned around?
He's all right. He's just very green. For a 3-year-old that only has 6 lifetime starts, like if you see what he goes against, they all have about 20 starts. So a lot of talent, very green. Not sure what to expect from him. Like he qualified kind of decent, but still sometimes you got to make sure you don't lose his attention because he can be kind of tricky a little bit.
Now, is that hard to do to kind of keep them going and keep them engaged all year long or all race long?
Well, it depends the way the race goes. Sometimes in qualifier, like last time, it's a little laser. You don't have to rush him nowhere. You just float wherever he wants to land. And here, I'm sure with 10 horses that all want a good piece of the pie there. It might be a lot of more of traffic. We'll see. We'll try to work our best there.
Thanks for joining us here, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
So Louis trying to continue what has been an incredible night for him. He'd be looking for a 4th grassroots championship as we get a look at some of the horses inside our paddock location. The Outrider heading out to the track, so that means we've got the post parade imminent. Just having a quick look at the trotting stallions in this particular division, 3-year-old colt trot division of the OSS this year, and muscle mass is just stand out again this season, far ahead of the next nearest rival, who is Il Sogno Dream. But here's a look at the overall trotting numbers in the Ontario Sire Stakes. Now, Green Manalishi just with a 2-year-old crop, but despite that, he's solid runner-up this year behind Muscle Mass. So next year could be quite a competition between those two trotting stallions. Wheeling and Dealing, he's really established himself as a solid OSS producing stallion, despite less overall numbers that he gets to breed.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, and you're right though, right? Green Manalishi, obviously with less horses. I mean, big numbers at the rookie division, but putting up those wild numbers. So I can't wait to see what happens next year.
Of course, you got other stalwarts in Ontario like Archangel. Earlier tonight, as mentioned, Logan Park winning in Dayton, and it looks like a Chippendale's been pretty solid here in Ontario as well. Alarm Detector, kind of a nice addition to the ranks. We're going to have some King of the North offspring for sale here next season as well. So future looks bright, certainly for the Ontario breeding program. Here are the trotters coming out onto the track now for the 9th race. James McDonald will partner Elegant Resolve from post position number 1. Just 1 for 19 lifetime. A bit surprising to me, though. 5-2 and favorite status here tonight in the $75,000 final.
Number 2 is Stormont Happy Day for Sylvain. Oh, 2 is scratched, my bad. Number 3 is Sid the Kid for Scott Young and Benoit Bayerjean. This is a horse is 3 for 15 in the season, 5 top 2 finishes, and does have a victory in the grassroots.
The McNair Brigade tonight, represented here by number 4, Are No Mercy, for longtime owners Tom and Elizabeth Rankin of St. Catharines, Ontario. He's 2 for 5 this year, one of the fresh horses coming in.
There's the 5, the Can-Am Banker for Tyler Borth and Victor Putty. 26 starts already this season, and he has 16 on the board finishes. One that is taking quite a bit of support right now at 9-1.
Royal du Haras, a 5-time winner this season, almost $45,000 banked. Kyle Fellows trains, and Loic Gurniel to do the driving.
Number 7 is Grambling Hall, driven by Louis-Philippe Bois, trained by Chantel Mitchell. Breaks in each of his last 2, kind of a boomer bust type, but has shown all kinds of ability in winning 2 of 6 so far in his career.
Nazuri, the post 8 starter, was scratched vet sick on August 12th, has had a qualifier since. One-time winner, but 5 on the board finishes and 8 this season for co-owner trainer Paul Walker.
Number 9 is North of 9, currently 50-1 in the odds board. Travis Cullen for Keith Jones, just 1 for 15 on the season, but does have a second place finish in the grassroots July 15th here at Mohawk Park.
That is your field as Elegant Resolve continues to hold as the lukewarm favorite on the tote board right now at 5-2, drifting up a little bit. So this is an evenly bet board, 5-2. I think this one gives you the indication that one of these weeks things are going to fall into place. He's always right in the mix, and you certainly wouldn't want to see that price dip much below 5-2. Do you give this one the backing tonight, or you go elsewhere?
No, I went elsewhere. I went to Jack and Abs. I did give Elegant Resolve the call for second, but Jack and Abs to me is just a horse that's been kind of a model of consistency, and I liked him at 2, even though he didn't have as much success, but he was racing against tougher. Just thought he's had a really nice campaign. Now, Doug McNair does opt for Are No Mercy over him, who Jack and Abs is trained by his dad, Greg McNair. So that's kind of been the way it's been all year, though, right? He's been siding with Are No Mercy. So, yeah, for me, Elegant Resolve, I mean, light in that win column is something that's concerned, but second start now in a row with James McDonald aboard. Obviously, that's going to play into his odds tonight and why he's taking all kinds of support at 5-2.
So when you get to this point in the season, there are horses coming into these races that are on the improve, and you know that they're just starting to maybe hit their best stride. Others, on the other hand, maybe started strong earlier in the summer and are starting to tail off a little bit. And it's kind of a what have you done for me lately scenario. One of those horses that jumps out to me is Sid the Kid. You go back as recently as 4 or 5 lines down the page. Here's a horse that was winning at the grassroots level and beating many of these, and then last time out faltered in the late going to finish 6th. What do you make of a horse like that?
I think he's one that's in with a chance, right? I mean, he's got tactical speed, something that I want on any surface, right? Especially what we've seen recently here at Mohawk Park. So Sid the Kid's a type that I think is going to get forwardly placed by Scott Young and might be able to stick around for a pretty big piece of it. I mean, he's shown some serious ability at times, but he's also been one that earlier on in his career has made some breaks and strides. So I think if he gets around cleanly, he's one that can certainly get a piece of it, and the price is right now at 17-1.
Are No Mercy, a real consistent performer. His form has remained steady all season long, and only 5 starts coming in. So if there's such a thing as a freshness factor, I think this horse certainly has it. Good post 2 for Team McNair in here. What about Grambling Hall? We heard from Louis-Philippe Bois, a horse that just recently started to encounter braking issues. Prior to that, had been on a nice roll. I think, at that kind of a price, he's worth a look. 8-1 makes him a bit of attractive play here on the tote board.
I thought he'd take a little more money, actually, off that qualifier, right? Second beating a Nectar Grateful. That's an age trotter who's had some success this season. So Grambling Hall, yeah, if he's got it between the ears tonight, I mean, I think he can do some really good things in here. He's got the hot hand of Louis-Philippe Bois aboard and a horse that can certainly, dominate his rivals on the engine, and he's shown he can do it at the grassroots level. So you can convince me, Greg, that he's the value right now at 7-1.
Jack and Abs, you talked about him. Another one for trainer Greg McNair. He was a $122,000 yearling purchase 2 years ago at the London Classic yearling sale. So he's the richest yearling in the field in terms of his purchase price, and the son of muscle mass has made back a little bit more than that during his career so far, almost $160,000. Talented horse, and how much does he benefit? I mean, there's just one scratch inside of him, but how much of a benefit is it to him?
I think it's a big one. I mean, the 10 hole here is, I always call it dreadful, right? In the Horse Players Journal, when a horse has post 10, I really, they have to be something special for me to put them on top. I put this one on top from out there, now moving in that spot. Still the uttermost post in the contest, but just a little bit easier, right? And Trevor Henry aboard for a follow-up steer. I usually like that as well. Second time he's going to be aboard this one. Lost a Scintillating Tom last time, and that's another stablemate of his. And I think I'd be more than happy to back him against this group. So that's how I landed on Jack and Abs.
There's another good betting board right now. Just a lukewarm favorite still, Elegant Resolve. What a time it would be to pick up his first win of the season. He'll start for post 1. We're down to a field of 9. Great looking group though. Another $75,000 championship finals. The OSS Grassroots for 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Trotters taking up their positions.
Indeed, he's got a work cut out for him here. Still some time though to get up there. Gate swings off the turn and into the stretch. Trotters pick up speed for race 9. Here they come. And they're off. Good beginning for the inside two, Sid the Kid. Elegant Resolve, center of the racetrack. Royal Do-It-All. Also leaving out a bit is Grambling Hall now, pressing the pedal. Jack and Abs on the far outside will be wide going into the turn. Enzuri files over in behind some early cover. Are No Mercy ducks to the rail, just ahead of the final two, who in the backfield at this point are the Can-Am Banker, and trailing is north of 9. A 27-2 opening quarter, and on that lead it's Royal Do-It-All, pressed by Grambling Hall, who's on the outside looking for the lead and will get there. Grambling Hall touches down on the front end just before 3/8. It's Royal Do-It-All second, 2 to Sid the Kid in third, Jack and Abs fourth, 5th inside to Elegant Resolve, who swings to the outside. Then it's back to Enzuri. Tipped out is Are No Mercy. Then the Can-Am Banker, and north of 9 will have to do more. Field approaches the half. They're there, 56-1, 28-4 the second panel. Grambling Hall leads to the far turn. Royal Do-It-All second, Sid the Kid is third. Elegant Resolve on the outside into fourth now. Jack and Abs pinned in fifth. Enzuri riding cover, 6th outside. 7th and up on the move goes Are No Mercy. And the Can-Am Banker with the field back there from in 7th. On their way to 3/4, chasing Grambling Hall. A 2-length lead over Royal Do-It-All. In at the rail is Sid the Kid. Elegant Resolve's just spinning his wheels. 3/4 of a mile, 125 into the stretch they come. Grambling Hall leads by 3 lengths. Back into second, Royal Do-It-All, trying to find racetrack. Sid the Kid. Scooting up the rail comes Jack and Abs. Brushing off cover comes Enzuri. A deep stretch lead for Grambling Hall. And Grambling Hall is clear by 4. Down the center, second Enzuri. And at the rail is Jack and Abs. But it's Waz night here on Grassroots Championship night. Another Grassroots title. He clicks with Grambling Hall in 1:54-1.
Kenny Middleton called it. It's Louis Waz night. He can do no wrong. And Grambling Hall, despite some recent issues with making breaks, Louis handled him aggressively. Got him put on the lead early, and once he got to the front, he had a defiant look to him and easily turned back rivals, giving him the Grassroots final Grand Slam.
Yeah, he's been a horse that swells up on the engine. We saw that tonight, and got hammered down late, right? We saw him at 7-1. We were talking about him. He goes down to 3-1 at post time, and just proved to be too much for them. But front end speed tonight, Greg's been pretty good, and I think Louis caught onto that, and that's where he's wanted to be most of the evening, and that's why he's racking up the victories.
And despite an outside post position, Jack and Abs makes the most of it and able to stick handle through traffic late to pick up the place spot over Nazuri. who was solid in finishing third. Sid the Kid rounding out the top 4 finishers here. Another sparkling effort, 54-1 in this division. Considering the weather conditions we've had tonight, that's impressive.
It really is, yeah. When he first came out, I know everyone was excited about Grambling Hall and had those braking issues recently, but the qualifier kind of let us know he was good to go, and certainly he was tonight. Just a real nice effort from this horse that I know there were high hopes for.
It's been the Louis Waugh Show, and he will be heading back into the winner's circle one more time. Let's take another commercial break and be back with more in a moment.
The London Classic Yearling Sale, Canada's premier standardbred auction, returns October 15th and 16th to the Western Fair District Agriplex. Recent London sales standouts include O'Brien Award winners and millionaire performers, Logan Park, Fashion Frenzy, and Stockade Sealster. Leading North American consigners and yearlings by the sport's top sires, all under one roof in a world-class facility. Find your next champion at the London Classic Yearling Sale. Find out more by visiting londonclassic.ca.
Yeah, you may think you're watching Groundhog Day here tonight, but no, this is Grassroots Championship night. It's Louis Philippe Waugh for a 4th time this evening, and he's swept all of our live races here so far tonight, this time with Grambling Hall and the 3-year-old Colton Gelding Trot 154-1. Getting the hardware from Bill O'Donnell, representing Cosa. There's Chantel Mitchell, winning trainer, and getting the bundle of carrots, the trophy, and another nice 50th anniversary OSS winner's blanket being presented as well. Grambling Hall was up around the 8 or 9-1 mark when we were talking about him, Rob, but took all kinds of late money.
Yeah, it came pouring in on him, $8.30, still not bad for that one, but haven't seen those big prices we've talked about, right? We've kind of, I feel like I've lied to people now saying there's a lot of big prices coming in on Grassroots final nights. Some serious favorites. We've had a couple of peripheral horses. Maybe we see a big one in our final Grassroots Championship race.
Yeah, and it's impressive. Again, we talked about the strength of the provincial program, but again, this is the Grassroots. This is supposed to be the second-tier division, but we are seeing some tremendous individual performances and horses that are likely going to go on to even bigger and better things before their racing careers wrap up.
Yeah, and like we said earlier too, right? Some of these horses would probably be competitive at the gold level, but why not, get bigger pieces of the pie throughout the season in the Grassroots and kind of, maybe take that shot if you win this race in the super final. Again, this is one here that might be able to hold his own as well off that mile.
And we should give a shout out too to the job that some of these trainers do with these horses, and of course the caretakers and their teams behind the scenes. Here's a good example: Grambling Hall. The season's rolling along. The horse has been very productive.